viewers, welcome once again to another edition of ISIC Mathematics Clinic. Here on the board, we have some equations that look like a quadratic equation, but they are not really quadratic equation. According to the standard form of a quadratic equation, we have the first term, second term, third term, and the equation is equal to 0. So we can apply the principle of factorization of a quadratic equation to solve these problems. Now let's see how we can do that. Question number 1 says x plus 2 root x minus 8 is equal to 0. So here we have root x. So the first thing for us to do is to make sure we get rid of these square roots. So how do we get rid of these square roots? We need to represent that root x by any letter we like. So the aim is to get rid of it. So I want to represent it by letter A. So if square root of x is equal to A, to get rid of this, I need to square both sides. Square both sides. So if I square the two sides, this will become x, while this will be equal to a raised to power of 2. Square root of x times square root of x is equal to x. A times a is equal to a squared. So in place of x in this equation 1, I'm writing a raised to power 2. Now let's go. This x now will be written as a raised to power 2. Then plus 2. Now this root x has been represented by a. So instead of 2 root x now, I'm writing 2 root a. Then minus 8 is equal to 0. So I have turned this equation to a quadratic equation. But here, the unknown letter you want to find is a, and that is not actually the letter you want to calculate. So let's first solve this one by the use of factorization method. So the first step, as I explained the other time, the coefficient of a square is 1. So I want to multiply it by the last number here, which is minus 8. 1 times minus 8 is equal to minus 8. Then the next step is to say, what two numbers can I multiply to get minus 8? And if I add those two numbers, I will get plus 2. To do that successfully, I will have to list the numbers I can multiply to get 8. 1 times 8 will give us 8. 2 times 4 will give us 8. Then the next number is 4 times 2, which is the same thing as 2 times 4. Now, which one can we manipulate here so as to get plus 2? And if we multiply, we get minus 8. Definitely, it is 2 and 4. But to get plus 2 here, I need to put minus in front of 4. If I say 4 minus 2, that will give me 2. If I say 4 times minus 2, that will give me minus 8. So instead of 2a at the middle now, I'm writing minus 2a and plus 4a. Now let's do that. A raised to power 2 minus 2a, then plus 4a, then minus the last number, minus 8 is equal to 0. So from here, I can group in 2's. So the highest common factor of these two expressions is a. So I open the bracket. A squared divided by a is equal to a. Minus 2a divided by a is equal to 2. Then I come to this side. The highest common factor is 4. we want to pick one out of this, a minus 2, then we are combining a and plus 4. So a plus 4 is equal to 0. So this means a minus 2 is equal to 0 and a plus 4 is equal to 0. So if a minus 2 is equal to 0, then a is equal to 0 plus 2, and that is equal to 2. Also, if a plus 4 is equal to 0, a is equal to 0 minus 4, and that is equal to minus 4. As I said earlier, it is not the value of a we want to calculate. Then we now go back to our representation. X is equal to a squared. X is equal to a squared. If a is equal to 2, therefore x will be equal to 2 raised to power 2, and that is equal to 4. Then also, if a is equal to minus 4, x is equal to a squared. So x is going to be minus 4 raised to power 2. And minus 4 times minus 4 is equal to 16. Therefore, the values of x in equation 1 are 4 or 16. 4 or 16. So although the equation is not really a quadratic equation, but we have been able to use the principle of quadratic equation to solve it. Now, number 2, we want to apply the same principle. Number 2, y minus 11 root y plus 24 is equal to 0. To eliminate this root y, as I did here, I want to represent this root y by a letter. So this time around, I want to use b. If root y is equal to b, then I have to square both sides. Square both sides. So square of root y is equal to y. Then square of b is equal to b squared. So in place of y up here now, I'm writing b squared. So this is now b squared minus 11. In place of root y here, I'm writing b. Minus 11b plus 24 is equal to 0. So we want to factorize this. The coefficient here is 1. So I want to multiply it by the last number here. 1 times 24 is equal to 24. Then I need to ask, what two numbers can I multiply to get 24? And if I add those two numbers, I will get minus 11 here at the middle. Then to do that successfully, I need to list the numbers I can multiply to get 24, starting from 1. 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6, and 6 times 4, which is the same thing as 4 times 6. Then which of these combinations can I manipulate so as to get minus 11 when I add? That combination is 3 and 8. If I put minus here and minus here, minus 3 minus 8 will definitely give us minus 11. So in place of minus 11b here, I'm writing minus 3b minus 8b. Now this becomes b squared minus 3b minus 8b, then plus 24 is equal to 0. I can now group in 2's. So to this side, the highest common factor is b. So b open bracket, b squared divided by b will give us b, minus 3b divided by b will give us 3. equal to 0. Then this becomes b minus 3, b minus 8 is equal to 0. If b minus 3 is equal to 0, then b is equal to 0 plus 3. So b is equal to 3. Also, if b minus 8 is equal to 0, b is equal to 0 plus 8, and that is equal to 8. But it is not b we want to calculate according to the equation. So we now return to this representation. Y is equal to b squared because it is y we want to calculate. Now, y is equal to b squared. If b is equal to 3, then y is equal to 3 raised to power 2. 3 raised to power 2 is 3 times 3, and that is equal to 9. Also, if b is equal to 8, then y is equal to 8 raised to power 2. Y is equal to 8 times 8, and that is equal to 64. So therefore, the values of y are 64 or 9. 64 or 9. So this is how we can apply the quadratic equation in solving equations that look like this format. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow my Facebook page, like, comment, share, and watch. Thank you.